everybody, and welcome to the Hypetrain podcast. I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Corey, but you may recognize me as the name El Gigante, who used to wrestle down in Guadalajara, Mexico.
We usually review the latest and greatest trailers for video games, sneak previews, all that stuff. But now we are going back in time once again for a little bit of nostalgia. We're going back to the 90s, this time for video games instead of movies. And let's check out the first trailer. This is for a game called Bust a Groove, originally Bust a Move in Japan. Quick one. It was,
what I think might be relevant for people listening is there's already other than the fact that Bust a Move is a famous song, there's already a video game series that was going on at the time that was called Bust a Move.
Yeah.
So you can't have two different.
I think
series.
it was like Puzzle or Balloon Bobble or something.
Yeah.
Before, and then they changed it to Bust a Move or whatever.
Puzzle Bobble. Yeah. It's kind of a spin-off of Bubble Bobble. It's a puzzle game. Releasing exact same time.
Oh,
that's where I think I was getting confused, because that's what I thought the trailer was going to be for. I was
like,
oh, we're just going to find a trailer for bubble popping? I guess that's fine.
No, this game...
and then it was just crazy Z Fighter dancing.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys did your research, but I used to play this with my sister back in the day. It was one of those really addictive, fun... it's like a fighting mixed with rhythm game. It was released in 1998. It's got a bunch of crazy characters in it. It's a dance battle game, so as long as you're performing your combos correctly, your little guy dances really well. When you screw up, he like stutters and stops. It's reminiscent of like kind of like Parappa the Rappa. When that game came out, and one of the greatest things in this was the music. I absolutely loved it. The characters, I mean, this game was pretty well received. It did get, it got a sequel, Bust a Groove 2. There was a third one that was only released in Japan called like Dance Summit 2001, which I don't think I ever played the sequel or the threequel, whatever you call it. But the first one, there is fighting elements, as you're talking about. You could perform like a jammer, they call it. So while you're facing off against somebody, your jammer would hit the player, and then they would screw up their combo. So all like out of the different characters, you had, like this guy Heat, who was at the end there with the blue flames. You got Pinky Diamond, the pink-haired lady. Everyone has like a crazy backstory. Like Pinky she's a stripper. She is an assassin. It's just crazy. Oh, she's also a fortune teller, because her jammer is she throws tarot cards at you. Really, really weird stuff. And then like, how like Japan just has
what is the economy like in this universe where she has to be a stripper, assassin, and a fortune teller?
Right?
So like not only that, like there's a lot of the I guess they're all competing in this. Like, I guess there's some weird backstory where like there's a thing called a gravitron that'll help whatever you're trying to do. I don't know, kind of like remember the Twisted Metal series?
Yeah.
Where like whoever, when they all competed, and at the end you got one wish granted. Now what's funny is like I was reading about that because they kept talking about the gravitron or whatever, and then. But I remember playing it and looking into it. There isn't anything like that in the game playing it. Like you are at the end, the big boss is like a giant robot, and you're dance fighting against it to save the city, and that's it. I don't know anything about a gravitron. It doesn't say anything about a gravitron, but whatever.
There's no gravitron. There was never any gravitron.
Was really, really addicting. Probably one of the first few like rhythm games out there, other than Parappa.
So I think it's going to be fun when we do these retro video game episodes. That I will do an eBay dive to see what this old game goes for now. Buster Groove is going for upwards of $50, and I saw peaked out at $120 for a sealed mint condition.
Yeah, because I actually
copy,
wanted to,
which is insane.
Yeah, my sister might still have this game because we played it all the time when I was growing up, and I needed to text her and I wanted to ask her like, do you still have this? Because we should sell it. But anyway. Or
because this should
it,
be money we're making.
Yeah. It's really interesting because retro video game prices are super high right now, but the PlayStation 1 had like 900 games. Prices for PlayStation 1 games tend to be lower unless it's like a really well-known game or a super rare game that people found out later. So the fact that Buster Groove commands a $50 price tag kind of shows its sort of cult status.
Yeah, so like I said, one of the big draws was the music. Each character had their own like theme song, and the styles range anywhere from like disco to house music. It's all very danceable, all very happy, really great stuff. I'll get into the whole point of like Japan is weird thing. I did want to dive into like these characters because some of them are just like, what is going on? There's this character, Kelly. She's this blonde secretary by day, and she has a fetish with baby stuff. So she has a onesie on,
Ooh.
a rattle, and
She's wearing
it's really weird.
Yeah, hate to see that.
I'm getting John Mulaney vibes from the way Fernandez is talking right now. And they had a onesie and a rattle, just a whole bunch of weird, crazy shit was going on.
There was a lot of changes they had to make to the American version. So the character Ham was this guy. He's a fast food restaurant owner that used to be a dancer, and he loves burgers. So his raps, he has a hip hop rap song for his level, and it's all about hamburgers. His character in Japan, Matt, I don't know if you know any about it. You might know more about this than I do, but I just read it on their Wikipedia. His character was originally, correct me if I'm wrong in pronouncing it, Ganguro. And what that was like in Japan, it had to do with the lore of spirits and demons, and basically they would paint their bodies or their face dark, and dark tan. And the problem with that is out here in the States, it looked like blackface. So they had to totally change his character just to make sure that didn't happen. A lot of go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, you see that a lot in, and not so much the spirit or demon thing. Ganguro fashion was a fashion movement in like the 90s in Japan. And you see pictures of them dressed outlandishly, and people tend to be like really tanned. Part of the fashion is to tan your skin like so fake, like it's like deep orange. And they had a lot of problems, a lot of video game characters like that were supposed to be weird. They were like, oh, make them Ganguro. Those guys are weird. Usually it was actually female characters, but it translates as blackface to a North American audience. So there's all these sort of like disconnects throughout video games of this era with Ganguro fashion. And it's part of the issue with the Pokemon Jinx, who used to have black skin, now has purple skin, because it's based on like Ice Ghost, but they're also like, give it blonde hair, make it one of these weird Ganguro girls, and did not translate well to the rest of the world.
There were other things, like the character Strike. He was smoking cigarettes, or Hero was actually smoking cigarettes. He's like this disco dude. Strike was drinking out of a flask, so they changed that to a soda bottle.
Yeah.
I found this out because there's like a fandom Wikipedia where like these people love this game, and they have all these. It's like got a pretty cult following. Yeah, I loved this as a kid. It was really fun, addictive. I'm gonna play a little bit of the music just because it's that good.
I got a fun fact about the music in this game. It was actually all written by Duff Goldman from Ace of Cakes. This was before he became a baker. And
Thank you for that, because I'm like, I don't know what the. It's all like really like some of these are you can see they're kind of like very J-pop influenced, but a lot of them are pretty cool, like hip hop and house. Let's play Ham's hamburger song because it's kind of my favorite.
Yeah.
Double cheese, travel across the world in the several cities. Coffee patty on a sesame bun. I love the taste too much, connect, stop that one. It's got the juicy taste, to put a smile on your face. I'm love, just let me hear you say, oh. 1, 2, 3, or even 4. But if you want to know the truth, it's true that I'm the natural playboy of town, and I am blowing every mind, 'cause I'm one of a kind.
Some high-scoring moves there. Let's get on down and get nasty. So nasty. That's crazy. That's crazy.
All right, that's enough of that. But yeah, there's a ton of different songs on it. Anything else to add about Busted Groove?
man, those songs are funky as hell.
Funky fresh. It's one of those things. We seem to go back to games of this style. Obviously, this Busted Groove even predates, Jet Set Radio, but it's sort of the same thing. It's a stylish sort of game that music is sort of in its DNA. It's sort of the point of the whole thing. It's got the same sort of vibe. Yeah, and that's just our brand, I guess. Is games like this.
So yeah, go buy a copy. Buy a PS1. Buy a copy of Busted Groove for how much was it, Corey? Like $50 to $150.
Yeah, something like that.
Do that and then play this game and then comment below about how you wasted all your money and are very mad.
Get a Japanese PS2. Get the third game that didn't come out in America.
Yeah. Let's go to the next trailer / commercial. This one you picked, Corey. So if you want to intro this bad boy, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is the commercial, and Fernandez means that in every sense of the word. This is the commercial for Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, which came out in, where are my notes? Here we go. In March of 1999, and then September of 1999 on N64. It came out on PlayStation, N64, and Game Boy Color, and I got more stats and facts. But let's just play the commercial.
Okay.
Can you move like a lizard?
Like ferocious,
Yeah.
like mean, like
Bigger.
No, that's good. That's very
like
good. Yeah,
Good, good, yeah.
And Gexercise and 4, 5, 6 and and 1, 2.
am
I am Gex.
right now. Yeah, that's it. Come on.
Right.
No, no, that's good.
Yeah,
That's very
Just a
good.
little bigger.
Oh.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah, thanks.
Wow. That's really something. I'm affected by that.
Awesome.
Said I'm affected by that.
Yeah.
All right,
Great.
Corey, take it away. Do your thing.
All right, here we go. Gex 3 Deep Cover Gecko, or as it was called in Europe, just Gex Deep Cover Gecko, is a platform video game. It is the third and final installment of the Gex video game series. Dana Gould reprised his role as Gex for the American audiences, while Danny John Jules was the voice for the UK and European release. This game is also starring Playboy model Marlise.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Did you also just copy and paste the Wikipedia into your
First
notes?
of all, Wikipedia is here to serve us, not the other way around.
Because I did the exact same thing. I'm looking at my notes and I'm like, oh man, he's going in order, the exact order of the Wikipedia. Okay, go ahead with Playboy model.
Yeah. Marlise
Andrada,
and I'm sure I butchered that, as Agent Extra, the only character that is featured in live action.
Mine says that too.
The N64 version features small amounts of live action FMV sequences featuring Agent Extra, whereas the PlayStation had just a whole bunch of them. And like this had a Game Boy Color spin-off, but I really don't feel like that's even
nobody cares. Nobody cared about those things back then. Every game had a Game Boy Color spin-off. There's a Game Boy Color Metal Gear Solid game. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But nobody cares. This is a PlayStation exclusive. They're like, sure, put a handheld version out on Nintendo's platform. It doesn't matter. People did not care about those things.
I didn't even know about that. But so yeah, did you play this?
So the plot of this game is. No, I didn't as a kid, but I actually own a copy of this game now on N64 because, as we will get to in my eBay breakdown, it is dirt cheap to get a copy of either PlayStation or N64. And I gave it a good 30 minutes before I was just like, what is this even? And just ripped it out of my Nintendo 64 and shoved it on the shelf for the rest of its life. But the basic plot is Gex is dating this Playboy model who is now the head of the TV terrorist defense unit.
Gross.
And she's been kidnapped. Yeah. She's been kidnapped, and she reaches out to Gex, and she's like, oh, my God, Gex, you got to help me. And he's like, well, I guess it's takeout for lunch, and then jumps into a TV and does dumb, crazy Gex things that he's done for 2 games before.
That was a good Dana Gould impression right there.
It was always just quoting like whatever pop culture reference he could jam into a thing. So it'd be like,
well, that's Gex.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. That's the thing that this commercial doesn't do. Gex as a series is pop culture, specifically TV and movie related. You know, it's just puns upon puns, not good ones.
With that being said, I feel like this game kind of has a weird cult following just because of Dana Gould being Gex in America. So I am just going to play this because I have a bunch of Gex lines.
Off the TV, nothing but net.
I'm invincible. That's what I call getting some tail.
I'm on top of the world, Ma.
Obi-Wan has taught you well.
Take your paws off me, you damn dirty ape.
All that work and I'm back where I started. It's just like college.
Well, this looks familiar. Times were simple on Walton's Mountain. Will somebody please call the maid? Fix her up or my tail. Support your local library. Hey, look, SNL.
He's dead.
Jewel cap.
Oh my God.
Fill your TV, man.
Read a book.
So that's
support your local library. Christ.
There was one that actually sounded kind of like a Homer Simpson. He did a good Dan Castellaneta impression there.
Dan Castellaneta.
But yeah, this way, I mean, if you've never played the game or even know who Dana Gould is, I mean, he did the voice, he did all these crazy puns, and they had him record like a ton of different lines that happened throughout the game.
Just incredible. So real quick, before we get to Sanford's thoughts, here's my eBay breakdown. You can get this game ridiculously cheap. If you want a really good copy, it can still be ridiculously cheap. Obviously, the cheapest way to go would be on N64, where you can see here, you can get a game for basically $10 if you really want the cartridge. Or you can get this like sealed PlayStation copy for $30. So really, you're not breaking the bank if you have to absolutely play this game.
Cool.
Yeah, but don't.
Yeah.
A couple thoughts about this commercial, because this is a commercial.
I wanted to address that.
Yeah, this is not a trailer. This is a commercial, obviously. Here's the thing about this. This is late 90s video game commercials in a nutshell, particularly advertising for PlayStation games, in that what was the point of the commercial? Because it doesn't tell you what the game is. It doesn't show you what the game is. It's just like, oh, hey, like, we're irreverent Gen X outsiders, and we're going to do a goofy thing because we got a thing. And look, we're goofing around and, like, play Gex or whatever.
Well,
the guy doesn't look like Gex, first of all. He looks like Croc. You could see Gex in the commercial in the stand-ins. The guy doesn't look anything like it. That's just what video game advertising was back then. You were selling an attitude in the commercials. For some reason, they didn't bother, to try to speak with gameplay or whatever. I guess it just doesn't translate. Video games from that era, like when you're showing like a sizzle reel, it just doesn't translate into excitement on your TV. So they went with this, and
I'm so disappointed in both of you that you didn't catch any of the things in that. Like, am I the only one that did research on this commercial here?
Of course, I don't do research.
The guy in the Gex costume, first of all, is Doug Jones.
And you guys
didn't
talk about it.
mention that.
It's Doug Jones. We didn't even talk about it. Yeah, we were clearly saving that for you to bring up.
Here's the thing.
Sure.
Here's the thing about that.
My responsibility.
Does that impact the commercial in any way?
Well, but I wanted to get to the commercial itself. I mean, Corey, you picked one of the worst ones because it's like this was a big marketing thing, and those guys aren't just Gen Xers messing around. They're the writers trying to come up with an idea for marketing Gex and making a commercial. So like, there's other ones where they're in the writers' room. They're trying different things. That's why they bring in Doug Jones in a Gecko costume to think, oh, what if we do that? I'm going to.
I'm going to bring up Doug Jones' IMDb and show you guys
why
why
it's
important.
A commercial of them in the writers' room.
Go.
I am Gex.
Whoa! Let's get this down.
Okay, that's kind of saucy. Look at that.
Gex.
That's like you're popping. Did he just move?
No.
I am Gex. I am Gex.
That's scaring me. Don't do it to me.
So good.
I feel stupid.
All right, little man.
It'll work when it's a big blimp.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Wow.
Beautiful. I feel kind of silly.
So it was kind of like a series kind of thing. So they like jammed all the commercials on the air at once so that they all told a story. There's like 3 or 4 of these writers guys try to come up with a commercial. Doug Jones is there. They're doing all this crazy stuff. But you're right, Matt. They are like goofy.
Right. Well,
but
that's
it's
the thing.
like it's kind of all like a big story.
Yeah. How is that different than what I said? Because
you said they're just goofy Gen Xers doing goofy stuff, but
no,
there is a reason they're doing it.
No, there isn't. But why is that the ad campaign? Is my point. Why is that the ad campaign? The ad campaign is just, oh, we don't want to sell this video game based on what it is. We want to sell like, oh, we're funny and quirky and cool, and we're basically this is, oh, South Park just came out. We're gonna be the South Park guys, and we're gonna be like, oh, we're so above it all and everything, and marketing is dumb, so we're gonna make a fake thing. It's not a commercial about a video game. It's a commercial like, you play video games and we're cool, so buy our video game. We're not gonna show you the game.
Buy our book.
Exactly. The fact that they did more of them doesn't change my point.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying there was like it I get what you're saying with like how 90s commercials were, but I feel like they weren't trying to be cool. Like it was more of like it was like
I literally said
doing. Well, whatever. But there was like
You guys, I just feel like these 4 tiny, minuscule commercials are the Macbeth of our generation. We're not giving them enough appreciation, and you guys got to take this seriously.
Well, like they're more grounded than like, you know how like the Skittles commercials that happened in like the two. I guess actually they're still probably around, but like the really weird, crazy ones.
Here's the thing: in those Skittles commercials, somebody still eats Skittles. But
no one played Gex in these.
Right. Nobody even showed Gex. You know?
This was a good commercial, you guys.
Good job, Corey.
Like, comment, and subscribe if you like all the crap Fernandez puts in these videos.
Nobody watches these.
I'll watch sometimes.
Transition.
Actually, it's funny because no one's probably going to watch it. But the last episode, the very end, your sign off, I like jammed a ton of crazy images for what you did there. And because I was like, no one's going to see this. And I'm just going to do it for myself. So I just like put a bunch of crazy stuff when you were talking. Which is why there's Jackie Chan with like holding up a picture of us.
Yeah. This episode 8 of the #Hypetrain podcast, brought to you by episode 7 of the #Hypetrain podcast, which I actually felt was a really good episode.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I haven't watched it yet. I'm on 3.
Yeah. Whenever you put them up, I just like them because I can't listen to my voice.
Man.
Dude, I have to listen to my voice and your guys' voices over and over and over
that's a choice that you made.
Oh, it's terrible. I think I'm going crazy because of it.
Somebody feel bad for me missing a leg that I cut off on purpose. Woo!
Let's move on to the next.
Why have you summoned me?
Thing.
Yes.
I'm feeling loopy this morning or this afternoon for doing this.
It's 9
Matt, go ahead. Intro the damn thing.
Well, you gotta tell me to do that. Put down your Arch Deluxe. Stop crying over Crystal Pepsi. The future of combat comes at the end of 1994 with Rise of the Robots. Cue up the thing and let's do it.
It's futuristic battle action and strategy as never before. Gamers play the role of a cyborg and take on droids in order of their technical sophistication. In a cinematic 3D arena with full 360-degree freedom of movement, Rise of the Robots features fighting moves conceived by a martial arts expert and VR-inspired backgrounds designed by an architect. It's the first combat game to use artificial intelligence for advanced fighter complexity. Opponents actually learn from their mistakes and read your moves, making strategic decisions down to the last microsecond. There's never been robot opponents this lethal. There's Crusher Droid, Builder Droid, Soldier Droid, and the most fearless end boss to ever face down a cyborg, the Supervisor. Awesome 5-round bouts are more than kick and punch. Multiple rounds build drama and excitement as gamers sweat every swing, every move. Rise of the Robots redefines the fighting genre and raises the ante on gamers with a futuristic motif proven in focus groups. It's another breakthrough in interactive entertainment from JVC.
So, Rise of the Robots, it was released on a whole bunch of different platforms, but it's a European game. So, for the most part, we just got the 16-bit versions here in North America, but it was released on like Amiga. Even the ill-fated Amiga 32 in the UK, a console that only saw a production run of 10 months, had a version of this. But in the US, we only had the SNES and Sega versions. As you can see, this game, based on this trailer, they had high hopes for this game. Obviously, I love this dumb trailer so much because it makes all these outlandish claims. I never even played this game, but I have nostalgia for this thing. It just reminds me of an era in which they were trying so many things in video games, and there were so many people who were missing the mark. And this is them missing the mark. You hear this guy talking about how this is the first fighting game that uses AI. Well, what is any other fighting game using to do its computer? They make all these outlandish claims like these moves were created by a real martial artist, which it was, but it seems very strange to commission a real martial artist to conceive your moves when not all of your characters are even humanoid. They're robots. And we hear all these things. The backgrounds were designed by an architect, blah, blah, blah. And then it's the next step in fighting games, like a new revolution. And then you just see these two blocky robots like walking, and one might low kick at some point. It's a great trailer to show what was going on in the era, in that everyone was trying to be the new guy, whether or not they had the ability to actually make a good game. Obviously, this is a very ambitious title. You can tell by the trailer. One thing that's not mentioned in the trailer is this was advertised as having a soundtrack by Queen legend Brian May.
No way.
Yeah, which is very rare for back then. It doesn't. They advertise it as that. He wrote an entire soundtrack for this, but his record label, there was something wrong legally, and the record label wouldn't let them release it. So he has like one track on the game, and the rest of the game soundtrack had to be made by somebody else. But still, a lot of the packaging for this game is like features a full soundtrack by Brian May, but it doesn't. This is mid-90s optimism in the future of video games incarnate, and I love it.
Oh man! So I've got the eBay breakdown if we're all ready for it.
Absolutely.
So I was rewatching that trailer just now, but at the end, Sanford, correct me if I'm wrong, because you said you've watched this a billion times, and I've only watched it like 3. Is it not a case for the Sega CD that it's showing?
It's a case for Sega CD that they show.
I cannot find a copy of that on eBay.
Yeah.
We did. I don't know that it actually even exists. We didn't get it in North America, at least.
Yeah, so I don't think it existed, because as far as my eBay breakdown shows, and Fernandez is about to throw the images that I sent him on there, I found copies for a Mega Drive cartridge, a 3DO disc, a Super Nintendo cartridge, and a Game Gear cartridge, and a PC CD. But none of them are breaking like $15 at best. And the lowest one I saw was like $5 for like the SNES cartridge, I think.
Yeah, this game is dirt cheap, and that's because it's not very good, according to people who have actually played it. This game did get a sequel, which, I don't know, kind of surprised me when I was doing research. It's on PlayStation and Sega Saturn. But yeah, Rise of the Robots, man, didn't hit the mark, but man, this trailer encompasses so much of a particular era in everything, and that's why I wanted to bring it to the table as we set our flux capacitors back to the 90s for this episode.
That announcer made me think that was like George Lowe doing early work, like, and you won't believe the supervisor. He's here, and he's better than ever with fighter droid and monkey droid and builder droid. And it's just like, what is happening right now?
What did you guys think of this trailer?
Yeah,
I loved it. This is awesome.
You pretty much covered all the stuff I saw in research, but it was a critical and commercial failure. But 2 years later, Rise 2 Resurrection came out. It was developed by a team of only 5 people. So, and the whole Queen thing, yeah, there was, they used one song or 2 songs. They used The Dark and Resurrection, and the rest was all done by some guy named Richard Joseph. Yeah, when I looked at like YouTube videos of people reviewing this game, it looks awful. It looks absolutely terrible, and yeah, the gameplay. You don't get to pick a character. You get to be who is.
Yeah,
this?
that's true. Yeah, if I've seen that. Yeah, if you're playing through the actual game, you don't get to pick your character. You're just like most fighting games. You're just playing as the weird humanoid thing.
Yeah,
I think the game just doesn't work. It wouldn't work if you could actually pick your characters against the enhanced AI. Like,
I feel like the developers did put a lot of like there's like 3D looking cutscenes, and then the actual gameplay looks like garbage. But they did a lot of work into the cutscenes themselves, and I think that's what why a lot of people got hyped about it, thinking that the game was gonna look like a PS1 game on Super Nintendo.
yeah, well, tying back to Gex actually, while it didn't release here in North America, this game released on the 3DO, and Gex was originally the first Gex, not Gex 3, which we watched. Gex was originally like a mascot platformer for the 3DO, before the 3DO, of course, was basically DOA because it cost something like $700 in 1994 money. But so obviously the 3DO was a much more powerful system. So they were trying to show off like the new graphics and everything. That's why, of course, now we can look at this thing and it says the backgrounds were designed by a real architect, and we can just say why would you do that? Why would you bother? That's why they bothered. They were trying to show off like the next big thing, which now to us seems quaint. And back then it obviously did not do them any favors, but that's sort of how it goes. They were really trying to make this as like a futuristic new thing, though now it looks almost Lawnmower Man-ish.
So what did we want to do? Did we want to give awards or something?
Yeah, let's do the Flashback Cup, the Flashback Award, the Flashback
Award.
And
Sash.
Let's throw one of the games in the garbage to power our flux capacitor back.
Yes.
There we go.
This is
so we have what did they call that in Back to the Future 2?
I'm gonna look it up.
Thing.
Yeah, what is
Mr.
it called?
Garbage or something?
Yeah. It's just something like Mr. Garbage.
No, it's Mr. Like a Fusion, Mr. Fusion.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
And he opens it up and he's like, "I need fuel," and he starts throwing in just like he empties the can of beer and then throws the can in as well.
Yeah.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd, we hope you're good wherever you are.
Yeah, it's just called Mr. Fusion.
Okay, so
Yeah.
our fusion thingy.
Yeah.
Corey, I'll let you handle this. So go ahead and intro our prize thing.
All right, so here we are, guys. We're at the end of another fabulous Flashback episode, and it's time to crown a winner and give them the Flashback Cup. We'll eventually change to a sash or a medal or a plaque or whatever, and then we will dump one into our patented. What's the opposite of fusion? No, what's similar to fusion?
Fission.
Call it the Mr. Fission. I don't know, that's risky too. No, we'll do that anyway. And then we're gonna dump one of these games into the Mr. Fission, and I'll have a fancy graphic of Fernandez as Doc Brown throwing the game into our Mr. Fission, and I'll take it away. My vote for Flashback Cup is going to be Rise of the Robots, because that trailer is just so damn good. Matt?
Yeah. As long as we're judging just by the trailers, I'm going with Rise of the Robots. Using my future brain that can see into the distant year of 2020. Obviously, Busted Groove is the best game that we looked at today. But from promotional material concerns, Rise of the Robots is the best promotional material that I saw today.
Mike?
If we're doing best promotional material, Rise of the Robots, hands down, even though it is probably the worst game in terms
Oh,
of.
undoubtedly. You know, there's no question.
All right. So the prize goes to Rise of the Robots.
Yeah, look at it. There it is.
Oh yeah. Oh, here comes the supervisor. Yeah.
The supervisor.
Yeah, you always know. Just make the list and then I'll make the graphics. All right, it's time.
Just remember.
No, I don't do that.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, here we go. And now to throw a game into the Mr. Fission, I full-heartedly say let's just throw Gex in there and just keep the flux capacitor moving forward. Mike?
We do need to get back to our own timeline. Let's throw Gex into our thingy.
Yeah, absolutely. Gex goes in. Somehow our flux capacitor runs on fission, but.
All right, so we now we threw that thing in there. Now we can get back to our timeline. It's been quite a ride, quite an episode, I gotta say. Corey, why don't you get us back? Let's get us out of here, man. Oh.
I will happily help us find our passage back to the place we were before. So guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you for commenting, subscribing if you did. And remember, guys, you don't have to do any of those 3 things I just rambled out at you really fast, but we sure do appreciate every like. We appreciate every comment we've gotten. Every one of our subscribers, all 12 of you, thank you so much for being here with us while we just ramble. Jesus. While we ramble nonsense for you to listen to on your drive to work, or while you're sitting in the tub contemplating the hard day you had, or while you're just chilling on the couch and just playing on your phone and just having us as background so we can have our 10 views per episode. But either way, we appreciate the hell out of you. So signing off for the day, I'm Corey.
I'm Mike.
We will catch you guys on the next ride.
That was very beautiful.
It just sounded so nice, and I'm listening.